Welcome everyone. TheDailyWoo here as the recording of this Thursday, July 21st, 2022. Standing here at Market Square, Market Street behind me, Celebration, Florida. Today is a historic day because this will be the second time in my life where I will be purchasing Disney Vacation Club points. First did so in April of 2021, around the same time that I bought a large amount of Disney stock. I will talk about all of that and how by me making that decision, I am now able to, well, I was able a while back to pay off the first DVC contract that I bought into, and now today going to add on to that. Join me, shall you? It is so beautiful here on Water Street. There's even some birds kind of ruffling around through the foliage there, and these flowers have grown up considerably since when I left on my road trip over 3 months ago, and now returned to look here at this little waterfall and a stork-like fowl right there at the base of the waterfall. It's also very, very warm out. It's like 93 degrees. Really the only reason I'm outside at this time of day because I have to meet up with my DVC representative at 2 p.m. at the Riviera Resort. Well, the word have to is not appropriate because I could. I called and he said I could do it over the phone, make the payment over the phone, but that doesn't really translate to video very well. Plus, I want to go from Riviera and pop into Epcot because as a tradition, I like to go up in the DVC Lounge like I did last year, or early last year when I bought my first set of points. So I'm just kind of starting a tradition. Who knows? Maybe every year I'll buy more points. Probably. Now, I am not a pro at this. I still do not have a completely firm grasp on how DVC works, but I do know a heck of a lot more than I did early last year when I first bought in, because I've had a few stays and kind of learned the ropes just a little bit. So take nothing I am saying, or take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, and just realize I'm learning as I go. I believe it was in January of 2021 I first bought a few shares of Disney stock. And then a couple months later, in April, I took all my savings, all my extra savings that I'd been accumulating for a while, and put all of it into Disney stocks. And around the same time, I purchased 150 points of Disney Vacation Club contract, not knowing if I made the right decision with the Disney stocks. Also, side note, I really love this square. It's called Savannah Square, and I cannot confirm nor deny the reason it shares this name, but it reminds me so much of the squares in Savannah, Georgia. The Forrest Gump Square, where Tom Hanks, playing Forrest Gump, sat in a square very similar to this and did the Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. And it truly is, because you never know what you're gonna get. I never know what I'm gonna get with my life. Things kind of have gone okay for me, maybe a little bit better than okay, thanks to decisions that I made over the tenure of my life. Just certain things that you do and don't do affect a lot of the outcome. And I feel life is kind of like a box of chocolates, and I also feel like this was definitely named, well, in my opinion, after what those squares in Savannah look like. Even a nice little fountain up here. And a leaf blower behind me. Now, when I say 150 points, that is 150 points per year. Hotel rooms, resort stays cost a certain amount of points based on the time of the year. Obviously, just like normal hotels, when it's busy, summer, Christmas, things like that, the points are going to be way higher. Me, I have an open schedule, so I can book during times when points are really, really, really low. So for me, DVC, I have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to the DVC market because I can just go whenever, wherever the wind blows, whenever the points are really low. But keep in mind, the points is basically just a number that you utilize to add up per day and per stay. I think at this moment, one DVC point is around $200, a little more than $200. So you can do the math on that per se, on how much that is. Now, that's not for 1 year, that is for a lifetime. Like at the Riviera Resort, the contract is for 50 years. I will be passed on probably in 50 years 48 now. I might live to 98, but highly doubtful. And wanted to walk over here just to show this area kind of always reminds me a little bit of a backlot of Desperate Housewives, Wisteria Lane, Universal, Hollywood. And there is, in fact, a Wisteria Lane and a Wisteria Court. Wisteria Court is that way, and Wisteria Lane is that way. Now I took a little bit of a chance with the stocks. Wasn't sure if it was going to go in my favor or not, but basically what I did, April of 21, took all the money I had in savings, as I stated, put it all in Disney stock. Got a lot of people had different opinions saying that was not the right decision. However, in January of 21, I think about a quarter of the stocks that I had, I bought for about $87, $88 a share. So I got a good chunk of it then, around $88, $87, $90 a share. And then the other three-quarter, good amount, I ended up getting at $117 a share. Stock went up to $200, and then it started going back down. When it got to around $168, I said, you know what, I'm gonna sell. So I sold all of my stock and made a profit of at least $50 a share, some of them $70 a share. So buying 150 points, $200 a share over a lifetime, not every year. Do the math on that. I was able to pay off what I had put on my credit card and was slowly paying off. I paid it off in one chunk at the end of last year when I sold off all my Disney stock at a very, very decent profit, and I still had money left over, and that money that I am taking is what I'm going to go today to buy 50 more points. So I'm going to have a total of 200. Total of 200 when it's all said and done. Cross over to the other side of the road so they can do their mowing. So when it's all said and done, 150 points plus the 50 points I'm going to get today, even after paying Uncle Sam what I owed him, and I had the stocks for more than a year. So I bought them in April of 21, sold them in December of 22. So after 1 year, the percentage of stocks drop of what Uncle Sam reaches in his pocket and takes, which are completely paid because I've already paid my stocks from last year. I did not wait to sell them this year because I wanted that to be out of sight, out of mind. So that is paid off as well. So in reality, even after Uncle Sam's cut, and after what I made on the stocks, and after buying 150 points, and now today gonna buy 50 more points, I'm not spending any money. It's all what I made in profit off the stocks. I got pretty lucky with it. It very easily could have gone the other way, and I could not have made a profit. I still would have done the DVC thing either way. I still would have done the DVC. Just a nice little footnote that I like to add in on how I was able to afford to do that and why I've decided to add on today. But I am not buying into Riviera today. I'm buying into a new section of the Grand Floridian that opened very recently for DVC. So I'm now going to be a DVC owner, Disney Vacation Club. I know I'm saying the word DVC a lot, at Grand Floridian. And remember when I said I don't know everything there is to know about this subject matter? Also, this cone is now replacing the logo. I just had to like wipe a bug off of my leg there. This cone is now blocking what used to be the emblem. What happened to the emblem? The town was established in 1994, the community celebration of Florida, but the emblem, the logo thing, is gone. Also, I would imagine, like I said, I don't know a lot about what I am discussing. I know more than I did, but I would imagine the price of those points will go up exponentially, so they're going to be worth something, you know, in 20 or 30 years, more than I paid for them, possibly. Now, there are fees. Every year, I will have to pay a yearly maintenance fee. Well, I don't know if it goes to maintenance and other things, a fee on top of what I've already paid. Now, there are ways that you can purchase the plans and also do installments with interest. I don't really like having interest. I don't like being indebted to anyone or anything. So I just, you know, kind of opted to just completely pay it at one time and not pay, you know, the exponential cost of interest. But I'm still gonna have to pay every year, once a year. I think you could do it quarterly or maybe even monthly, but I choose to do it every year, maybe even every 2 years. Nonetheless, I do have to pay a fee. On 150 points, it's around $1,000. So I'm guessing now that I'm gonna have 200 points, it'll probably be $1,200, $1,300 a year. But because Everything else is kind of out of sight, out of mind, and all I have to do is just figure out when the cheapest time to stay at these places are every year. I'll just pay that $1,200, not think about it, and for the rest of my life, I'll be able to stay on Disney property at Hilton Head, Vero Beach, or possibly Aulani. I'm gonna make it over there to Hawaii. And who knows what else they're gonna build. They're constantly building new resorts. So I'm pretty happy that I did this. I'm really glad I did this. I'm loving it. I'm really liking it. Just to show some examples, this is Saratoga Springs in August. The blue ones are highlighted, what's available for me. At 14 points a night. Keep in mind I have 150 right now, but I'm gonna have 200. But remember how I was saying that different time periods and different prices are a little bit different. So you get into September, 10 points a night for certain nights. And then you get into what you would think would be a lot for December, but really, in early December, 12 points a night. And one I really like is Old Key West. So looking into January, there's a lot of open dates at 10 a night. So if I had 200 points, I could stay 20 nights at Old Key West. Another example, Vero Beach. You know, I'm not much of a summertime beach guy, so going in the winter in January would still be pretty decent. I could knock out a week at 14 points, all available, and still wouldn't even use half my point. Well, it'd be only half my points. At a week, I could book a full week. And if you scroll down even farther to Hilton Head, which I love Hilton Head, click on this. This is January. 6 points a night some nights. 6 points a night. Or even if I were to do 12 a night, 6 and 12, I could book that block of 3 for 18, for 30 points for that weekend. That's it. Or morph over into February, the whole month is blocked at 10 a night. So if I book 10, I could stay 20 nights. You know, once a year, I could just go to Hilton Head for 20 days. Now keep in mind, those are during off times. It will go up a little bit more. Certain resorts, certain hotels are a little bit more, but I'm flexible. I have flexible time, so for me it works. Does not work for everyone, and I'm not booking a 1-room villa, a 2-room villa, a 3-room villa. Even, you know, even if I were to invite someone, let's say family, friends, still a lot of the deluxe accommodations, the less inexpensive, the lower tier, still have 2 beds. Whether it be 2 full beds or a queen bed and a pull-out couch that's also a queen. So you get 4 people in a room for those price points that I was showing. Even if I stay at some of the other ones, they're still not that expensive during off times. So I'm all about the off times. I don't want to be there when there's tons of people anyway. I like utilizing the same facilities in the off time as you would get in the high peak, high price time. All right, heading over to Riviera and gonna go ahead and sign the deal on 50 more points. I should also note, I'm looking at this as an investment, retirement of sorts, a relaxation for, you know, not only now, but later in life. Yeah, I'll probably document over the next year or two some of the hotels, but I'm thinking long-term, thinking way down the road. You know, when it's not used for videos or for other people to see, I might just go stay somewhere for a week. You know, when this YouTube thing has run its course, I still want to go on vacation. That's kind of what I'm thinking of. This is a preparation for those days to happen. And needed to fuel up with a little gas. Current price here, $4.13 a gallon. It's pretty cool that this is the gas station I always fuel up when I'm home. This very retro looking Art Deco 7-Eleven all-wheel drive. At 1:38, traffic flowing a little better than it does at 5 p.m. when I pull over here, but I can't go over towards the parks and not show the Mickey Power Pole. And I should also mention that even though I took all my money in April all my extra money in April of 2021 and put it in the Disney stocks, and I'm taking what I made profit from that, I've still had a year and a half to save other money, so I'm not taking all my savings now to put into DVC. And I went through the gate, the checkpoint, and parked at my home resort. Well, now it's 3/4 of my home resort after I go in here, because I have 150 points here. A while back, I stayed here for the first time, and the tower right up here, the Value Tower, which is pretty good. I got to see fireworks over at Epcot. It's pretty awesome from up there. The room was kind of small, but the view really, really made up for it. Now the way a home resort works might sound confusing, but a home resort does not mean you have to stay where your contract is. My contract is here as my home resort. In fact, you never have to stay at your home resort. All that means is you can book it 11, I think I'm correct on that, 11 months out, where every other resort that's not your home resort, 7 months. The way my representative told me, it's like, think of 7-Eleven, like the gas station. 7 months, 11 months. So here, I get a 4-month head start to book 11 months from now that others who do not have as their home resort would be able to. But you could stay anywhere, whether it be in Hawaii, whether it's Vero, Hilton Head, all the on-site WDW resorts, and Disneyland, Grand Californian, and they're building a new DVC resort, which I don't think they put the contracts on that yet, out in Anaheim as well. So I'll be able to use stuff in Anaheim as well. So not necessarily have to stay here. And I'll also have those 50 new points added on today, once I get done here, that will be my home resort at Grand Floridian. So I can book those 11 months out, at least those 50 points. And I was looking up the points on those. You can get rooms for 17 points or theme park view for 25 points. So I could get 2 stays there, theme park view on Seven Seas Lagoon overlooking Magic Kingdom, guaranteed, because I get 11 months out on those 50 points. Kind of confusing, but home resort only means that you can book, you get that additional 4 months as opposed to 7 months, so you get a 4-month head start. Hopefully that explained it a little bit. All right, some time has elapsed, about an hour or so. I have went ahead and upgraded from 150 points to now 200 points, 150 of which are here at the Riviera Resort. And now I have a fresh 50 every year for making it a 200, but the other 50 will not be at the Riviera. So this is my home resort for 150 points, which has the towers. The last time I stayed here, the only time I stayed here, was up there overlooking Epcot Center. Speaking of Epcot, I'm going to be heading on the Skyliner over there for a little celebration, if you will. I'm going to take this across. Kind of in the mood for pasta, a little pasta salad. So I'm going to go get a little pasta salad over at Epcot Center. 50 more points now for a total of 200. 50 points now added on to my contract. And while I was in there, he showed me the 3-bedroom, which was kind of up there somewhere. 3-bedroom villa. Holy cow, that was like next level. I don't know if I'll ever stay there. Eats up a lot of points, but man, it was a sight to behold. A 3-bedroom villa. I'm more of the deluxe, or the what, I don't know what the word is, but the studio, deluxe studio type of guy. You know, it's just me. I don't need a 3-bedroom, but man, they were really, really nice. I know each of the resorts has larger versions, but like I said, eat up a lot of points. For me, works best for me to go with the lowest point system. All right, heading on the Skyliner over. And I think at some point, the next points I will buy for a home resort will probably be Hawaii, Alani. Just really think it'd be really cool later in life to be able to go over there. Granted, I could use the points I have now, but having that 11-month window and go over there for, you know, a week every year down the road would be pretty dang cool. So if I buy more points, if that day ever happens, to add on what I already have, I'm just gonna put out there, spoiler alert, it'll probably, if that day happens, will probably be Alani. You know, when I first saw and heard of the sticker price on the experience and purchasing into this, really is kind of overwhelming. But when you really do the math over decades of utilizing it, especially in, you know, what I do, traveling all the time, being able to stay in Vero, stay in Hilton Head, probably even Alani over Hawaii at some point, and even stay locally. This last road trip I went on, hotels have gone up like 30–40%. Like a decent hotel now is between $100 and $140 a night, where it used to be between like $70 and $90 a night. And once this is paid off, really kind of makes sense. You know, I'm trying to justify it in a lot of ways, but there really is a silver lining to buying into it. At least for me. Like I said, all this is for me, so you really have to just go based on your own thought process and the way you live your own life. Heading on the Skyliner. And again, this is not something that's just going to be for a year or two. It's something I could use 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 25 years from now, if I'm still around. So it's something that's just going to be going through my entire life. I'm pretty happy with my decision. One thing I learned also is the contracts are based on when the resorts were built. For example, Old Key West, is the price of that being your home resort is so by me getting Riviera or some of the newer resorts, they last 45 to 50 years, where some of the older resorts are based on the price of when the resort was built. So it's better, if you're going to buy into it, to buy into one of the newer resorts as your home resort. You can still book the other resorts. Just kind of clarify that, because Old Key West is a little less expensive, but you only get it for like 20, 25 years. My game plan in here is to go to, in this order, Club Cool, watch the Jameters, final show is at 4:30, followed by DVC Lounge, and then up over to Sunshine Seasons. The flavor I usually get over here is completely out. I'm not gonna do the Beverly. I'm gonna go with Madagascar. I got my cup down there. You know, now that I'm over here, I'm kind of wondering, do they have coffee up in the DVC Lounge? It is really nice to have the dancing fountains back here up on the upper ledge looking over the PVC fountain with Spaceship Earth off in the distance. For a while, they weren't running. You know, the waterfall, the uphill waterfall was running, but not the PVC fountains. And I think every time I have stood here at this position or anywhere in Epcot Center and watched the monorail go by, I have never seen it moving this slow. This is probably 3/4 speed, maybe even half speed. Let's say 3/4 speed of what the normal, you know, miles per hour that the monorail's going along the monorail beam. It is just kind of just moving along at a slower pace. Just, I guess everyone on there is just taking in the sights of Epcot Center. It's never have I seen it moving this slow. I'm not complaining, because I get to feast my eyes on it for a longer period of time than normal. But yeah, it's just moving along. And alas, there was no caffeinated beverage. They did have a Keurig up here, but it was just decaf. And I don't really do the decaf thing, so I went with my original thought, Mr. Pibb. It's kind of a beautiful little area up here. I really do like it. And then off on the distance, you kind of get a good view of Spaceship Earth out the window. I'm up here in the top of the pyramid in the DVC Lounge. It's kind of every time I buy DVC, well, I mean, I'm up here when I'm not buying DVC, but really from now on, it's going to be kind of a tradition to come up here. Now, I know Food and Wine is going on, but I'm kind of craving a little Sunshine Seasons right down there. There's a couple items I always like to get from Sunshine Seasons, and I'm going to get them right now. One of them being the macaroni pasta salad. I really like the macaroni pasta salad from that's hard to say. Sunshine Seasons. It's like a tongue twister. Now this will have to do. I ended up getting 2 of these. This is not the same pasta salad they used to have. I was talking to one of the cast members. They said they kind of changed up the menu a little bit. They don't have the same one I got before. All right, now I'm gonna take the Skyliner back over to Riviera. My car is parked. And with Spaceship Earth over in the distance, looking across World Showcase, heading back towards the Riviera. There's my shadow. And that's gonna do it for today. Riviera Resort, where most of the time you meet up with someone, representative from DVC, they send you over here. Even though what I got today is over on the other side of the property at just outside Magic Kingdom. Parked here, took the Skyliner over. A pretty good day, a successful day, a day progressing forward. I'll see you in the next video. Looking forward to the future, as always, planning for the future and enjoying the current. Look into the future, enjoying the current. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, but if you think hard enough about it, it does. I'll see you in the next video, the vlog. And once again, brought my umbrella, didn't need it. The vlog is over.